Hi everyone, I'm Chef Leroy and welcome to my cozy kitchen. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I certainly am. Today it's very hot here, so I decided to do something a little bit on the cool side so it's not such a hot meal, and we are going to make sushi rolls today. But having said that, what are some of the ingredients you need with this roll? Well, sushi rice, and I'll explain how I cooked it. You will need a mat. Now this one is plastic, this is bamboo. I'll show you these two. You will need nori sheets if you want to make your rolls. This is what holds them together, so these are nori seaweed sheets. And I'm going to use some avocado in mine today. I've got some peppers that I cut up to put into my rolls as well. And in order to get all of this going, to start with, you have to cook your rice. So let's talk about the rice. Okay. So I have this brand that I picked up. It's called Nishiki sushi rice. Okay. You can use pretty much whatever sushi rice you'd like. Now, I followed the directions on the actual package and it worked out just fine. So this is 1.5 cups of rice to 2 cups of water. And what they say on the package is to let it stand in a saucepan for 15 minutes, then bring it to a boil, cover it, reduce it to a simmer, and cook it until the water is absorbed into the rice. Now, it took me approximately 10 minutes to get that water to absorb into the rice. That was about the time frame that I used. Because on here it said up to 20 minutes, but I actually was able to get that down in about 10. Then I just turned it off, took it off the stove, and I just left the cover on it for 5 minutes, and then you stir it up with a spoon, okay? So this worked out really good. It does take longer. Now, pressure cooker. I did the same exact recipe. I put it into the pressure cooker. I did the same amount of rice to the same amount of water. But what I did do different is I only let the rice stand in the water for 5 minutes. Then I set the pressure cooker to 6 minutes and I turned it on, and once it was done, the timer went off for the pressure I released the pressure and did the stir, and I did the same thing. I left the cover on it after that and I let it stand for 5 minutes. The rice really came out really well. So it does shave off some time by using the pressure cooker. All right, so that's the differences of the rice. You can look these recipes up, they're all over the place, but if you follow the package, you can't be wrong, okay? Now, you want to keep your rice a little bit warm, okay? So you want it at least at room temperature, and make sure you have a bowl of water. I use that for my fingers, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to make our rolls. Now, I've got my 2 different mats, and I've got a plastic mat this time. I really want to try the plastic one. When you use these bamboo mats, usually you want to cover it up with plastic wrap. That's the best way to do these. But I want to try this plastic mat, and this will be the first time I do that. All right, so having said all that, the other thing we have to do is we have to get our ingredients ready for the rolls, okay? I'm using avocado, so I'm going to need to cut up my avocado. I'm using the ahi tuna that I picked up. This is a 1-pound pack of ahi tuna. We're going to need to cut this down. And I've got some Philadelphia cream cheese. We need to cut this up as well. Now, on this tray or plate here, I've got a bell pepper that I julienne really thin strips. It's probably about a half a bell pepper. I want to add a little bit into each one of my rolls. All right, so let's get the camera down. I'll show you how to get all this stuff processed. All right, so we're going to cut the package of tuna open. Now, generally, I never use raw meat on my wood board, but this is a sushi grade fish. So it's a little bit safer that way. I still will sanitize my board really well, but let's pull those little tuna steaks out of there. Okay, again, this is 1 pound of ahi tuna. All right, now I got a plate here off to the side. I want to cut my tuna into strips, just like that. Okay, nice and thin. So use a nice sharp knife and cut them into nice thin strips. And then let's go ahead and lay this right on this plate here. Okay, this will be kind of a staging plate for my rolls. All right, so this is 2 examples of your rolls. So you can see the one has rice on the outside, the other one is nori sheet on the outside with rice in the middle. I will show you how to make both of them. Which one you prefer, I actually like the one with the rice on the outside. It has a little bit different texture. It makes the nori sheet a little bit softer when you eat it. But what you want to do as you're making the rolls, put them on a tray. I put a little bit of plastic wrap on the bottom just to keep them from sticking. And then I'm going to cover them also with a piece of plastic as I make them, just to keep them from drying out. All right, let's show you how to roll them. All right, first thing you need is a sheet, okay? So you can use whatever type of roasted seaweed sheet you want. I picked these up from the Asian market the other day, and they come in a big pack of these guys, okay? These have a little Ziploc on it so you can keep them fresh, because there's a lot. You won't use all these. All right, so this one has a perforation in it. This way you can actually break these in half and make smaller rolls. I like to make a little bit larger roll. All right, so it doesn't really matter which way you put the sheet down. Here's my little sheet for, this is my bamboo mat. Well, it represents bamboo mat, so this is my bamboo mat that I have here. But I really wanted to try this plastic one because honestly, it'll be a lot easier to clean and it'll pretty much last forever. All right, so lay your sheet down. Okay, now you need rice. That's your next part. Okay, so you want to wet your fingers. I got a bowl with warm water here. And wet them both your hands. Okay, throw that rice right on the sheet. Make sure you grab a little bit more rice. And keep your fingers wet. Okay, that's really important. Okay, go ahead and put a nice generous amount of rice on your sheet and spread that rice around. Take your time. It's not anything that you have to go too fast with. You're not working in a restaurant, you're working for you or your family, okay? So what I always like to do is keep those fingers damp. And let's get a little more rice in there. Now the layer rice is your decision on how thick you want the rice. But I try to thin it out a little bit, just like so. And go ahead and run your rice all the way to this outer edge on both sides, as much as you can. Now the top part and the bottom here, I leave a little bit of gap on the top and bottom. Mostly you want to keep it up here on this side, a little bit of gap, okay? And you can just put just a little bit of water on there. Now, next thing, this is when you decide, do I want to flip it over or do I want to keep it the way it is? I'm going to flip it over. Put the rice down, so the rice is on the outside. So gently flip it over, and at this time you can kind of pack it down just a little bit, okay? Now, we're gonna go ahead and put our tuna on the sheet. Okay, I'm gonna put 2 lines of tuna to make a little bit on the thicker amount of fish here. Just like that, okay? Now I'm going to use some avocado. Place some avocado in there. You can lay it in layers like this and it makes the roll look so much nicer, okay? Just like that. All right, next thing we're gonna do is some cream cheese. But again, I'm going to put that on the outer side of the avocado. Just like that. All right, we're gonna set that off to the side. Now, I want a little bit of this pepper in here. So I've got the sweet bell pepper that I cut really thin. I'm gonna lay that right on top of that cream cheese, just like that. And there you go. Now, you probably have to wipe your hands off a little bit at this point, so make sure you clean them off. Now, just take your mat and roll it up nice and gently. Roll it again. And you just keep repeating this step, pushing down as you're rolling forward. And it'll pull all that ingredients inside there. You could actually roll this with your fingers too. Once you get to this point, you could literally roll it over like that. And then what the mat's nice for is you take the mat and you put it over the top and you push it down. Tighten it up a little bit like this. Okay, and that'll tighten your roll up really nicely. And look at that. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put that on the tray. And we're gonna work on the next one. So you don't really need to do anything with the mat. The only thing is your fingers have rice on it, so they're sticky. So you don't wanna get into your nori sheets with sticky rice on your fingers. So we want to go ahead and clean our fingers off quick, and then we'll get out another sheet. We'll dry our hands a little bit, and then I'll show you how to do one with the nori sheet on the outside. Okay, I'm back to my sushi mat. I'm going to lay that sheet down just like so. Okay, again, get your fingers wet with your water, both hands. Grab some rice, put it on top. Okay, you're going to have to wet your fingers a couple times when you do this. Otherwise, the rice just sticks to your fingers, and then you got to wash your hands, which is fine, but you want to keep rolling on the project. So just kind of push that rice around, nice and easy. Go ahead and wet your fingers again. Put a little more rice on there. So this is a little time consuming, okay? But believe me, when you eat your own sushi rolls that you've made, it will be absolutely fantastic. All right, so there you go. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave it. We're not gonna flip it over, okay? Just like that. So go ahead and let's stack some tuna in here. You can put as much in there as you like. Just like that, beautiful. Put a little piece right there. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and put some avocado. Again, avocado is optional. So is the cream cheese. You can just make the roll just with the tuna as you see it. All right, this avocado is really nice. I'm just gonna flip them over though, because a little weird roll there. All right, go ahead and put a little bit more cream cheese in there. Now you could put green onions in here. There's all kinds of things that you can put inside these rolls. Want them spicy, you could do a little bit of jalapeno. A little cream cheese right there. Just like that, okay? Have a towel handy so you can wipe your fingers. And again, lift your mat up, roll it forward, just a little bit at a time. Or you can even use it. Oh, see, I got a piece of tuna popping out of me. Let's shove that back in there. You could use your fingers, and you can, as long as they're a little bit on the damp side, because it'll stick to the paper, the sheet here. You want to make sure that your fingers are, but you can just roll it literally like this too. And then you want to use your mat to tighten it. So I just push down a little bit like this, roll it forward, push it down to tighten it, roll it forward again, and you have it beautiful. So these ends are sticking out. We just kind of push that in, which is fine. I'll show you how to cut these anyway, so we'll show you that. And there you go. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and put that on the tray. So honestly, it is, I'll show you the tray here. There you go, homemade sushi. You will save so much money than buying them. So this package of tuna that I picked up, this 1 pound package of ahi tuna cost me $7 at the store. It comes in, it's frozen in these little packs, as you've seen in the picture. I mean, you cannot go wrong. You will have such a fantastic dinner or lunch or however you want to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and keep on rolling, and then I will show you how to cut them when I'm done. And let's go ahead and take one of your rolls. Now, best thing to do is have a little bit of bowl of water so you can wet the knife as well. To have a nice sharp knife in order to do this, okay? So now you can cut them in whatever size you care to have them in. I'm gonna go ahead and slice through. Just like that. And go ahead and set that off to the side. And let's go ahead and wet that knife a little bit. Sticking a little bit. Okay, the other thing is make sure that your knife is really sharp. And I like to use this style knife that has the hollow edge on here. That helps the wrap keep from sticking to the knife. But doesn't that look beautiful? So I made this one without avocado in it. I didn't want to cut up my one single avocado just to do a last roll, okay? So when you get to this end, just go ahead and flip it up. Just like that, however you want to present it, okay? Now let's go ahead and cut one of the other ones with the nori sheet on the outside. Okay, just give your knife a little wet it down a little bit, and then cut through. And then you want to put that up just like that on your tray, okay, or your plate. And cut your rolls as thick as you like. They're your rolls. You can do whatever you like with them. But look at how nice that is. Isn't that beautiful? So simple. Now it is time consuming. Obviously, you have to wait for your rice to get done. And when you don't know how to do these rolls that well, it's going to be a little bit tricky in the beginning. But you know what? You're really going to love them once you're done with them. And you did them all by yourself, which is even better. And you've saved yourself a lot of money than going to a sushi restaurant. So there you go. I'm just going to continue to cut these up. Okay guys, hi. I'm going to do a recap on our sushi rolls that we made today. Let me tell you guys, these are going to be fantastic. Now just keep in mind that the rice is basically room temperature, a little bit warm. This is the best time to eat sushi rolls. When you go to the store and get the rolls in the store and they've already been refrigerated, that is not the best sushi because that rice just gets so dry and stuff sometimes. It's really not very good. Make your own. You will be very happy. It will take you a little bit of time to get used to using this mat when you work with them. You know what? I'm really happy with this plastic mat. I didn't know how it would work out, but it's really slick and it's really easy to wash. Now generally, the bamboo mats are the ones that we use, okay? And a lot of guys will wrap these with plastic wrap just because of the same reason I was just telling you. It's harder to keep clean. Now, as far as nori sheets, this is a roasted seaweed nori sheet. You can use whatever kind you want. There's 50 sheets to this. They call it a full-size sheet. These are fantastic. It's very inexpensive if you go to the Asian market. Now, you can be creative. So if you make your sushi roll with the rice on the outside, you could dust it with some toasted sesame seed. You could throw green onions on it. I like this sushi sauce. I picked this up. This is a Kikkoman product. This stuff is fantastic. You can squirt that over the top. You can use, there's a sriracha mayonnaise they sell in the market. You could put that over the top. There's all kinds of things you could do with your rolls. Again, you can use whatever sushi grade fish you want. You can even make these with chicken. You can make them vegetarian. There's many options you have. It's just a matter of getting the technique down of rolling them. Just so you know, how much rice am I putting into one of these sheets? It's about 1 full cup of cooked sushi rice. That's what I estimated I was using. It could be about 1.25 cups. It really depends on that layer, how thick you want that rice on your nori sheet. That's what will determine how much rice you need. Now, I made quite a few rolls, as you see here. I've got these 3, and I had another, another 4. I think I did 7 rolls. I didn't really count them, honestly. I lost count because we're doing the video and we're so distracted. But anyway, I hope the video was easy enough to follow along with. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. Subscriptions are free. They only just notify you when a video has been dropped, and it gives you a notification kind of first out there. Please give me some thumbs up if you enjoy the video. Hit that notification bell, ding, 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 ding. And please leave a comment at the end of the video if you did enjoy it, or if you need additional information on where to get this rice or where to get these nori sheets or anything about the video. Please leave a comment and I will respond to you as soon as I see it. Otherwise, you guys have a fantastic day. Chef Leroy, and out.